Hello once again, Facebook, YouTube, Michaud Abraham. Once again, I have a very important topic I want to bring up. And when I say very important, I mean important because for me it's a real pain. And that's the issue of credit cards. Credit cards, credit cards, credit cards. Please, people, be careful with these credit cards. I've seen it time and time again where persons get themselves in problems, I guess maybe because they don't understand credit cards too well, or because they probably don't think it's a big deal. But I will tell you this, credit cards are a big deal. I did a video before about credit cards, but I feel the need to redo the video because I'm tired of seeing people getting problems with credit cards, and not understand how it could be a detriment to them. You see in the US, persons are really accustomed to getting in credit card debt. It comes in abundance. You could find persons with 20 credit cards, people with $100,000 in credit card debt, and not understand what a credit card actually is. Again, a credit card is a card of credit. It is credit on a card. That's what credit card is. Most credit cards, you're talking about extremely high interest rates. You're talking about 18%, 19%, up to 23% on credit cards. The cash advances and uses of credit cards. So in this video, let me see if I can give some aid to those who may be looking at what am I going to get into if I get a credit card? How do I properly manage a credit card? Or what to do if I believe my credit card is hurting me? So I'll see if I can address those three questions. Number one, credit card is not the Antichrist product. If you manage a credit card well, you have a very good product. It's helpful, it's useful when you travel. It comes in very handy, and it gives you good options. A lot of cards now come with rewards. So you get to use, you can use your points to purchase stuff online. You can use your points to get some cash back. You can use it when for traveling purposes. You can get free airline tickets. You can use it to your advantage. But how a credit card works, like we said, is credit on a card, meaning if you have $1,000 limit, any of that limit you use, you have credited. So if you have $1,000 limit, you use $300, you will pay interest on the $300 that you use on the card, because that's the portion of the card that you credited. And that's how it works. In addition to that, you have interest that will be charged separate from using the interest when you purchase items. If you do a cash advance on the card, you get an additional charge for it. And keep in mind, when you get your card, it outlines what the cost is for all of these things. But by far, the cash advance is the most expensive charge that you would get on your credit card. So be very careful with any cash advances. If you're going to do it, probably on a need to basis. You look at a cash advance, but if you can't avoid it, go ahead and avoid it. So how the credit card works, if you use $300 on a credit card, then you ought to get the $300 paid to the credit card as soon as possible. That's usually how it works. Any amount that remains outstanding, you get charged for, and the longer it remains outstanding, you get charged more interest for. A lot of persons, when they get a credit card, they believe that the credit card is similar to a loan. It is not. A loan has it has a beginning date, and it has a maturity date or an expiration date, meaning it expires. So you can get a loan for any period of time, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. So January, for instance, you get the loan, that's your start date. You get it for 12 months, so December is going to be your final date. It ends. A credit card is not the same. A credit card goes on forever. So there's no monthly payment to be made with a credit card. And a lot of times persons confuse themselves because they look for, okay, well, what is my payment? What's the payment on the card? There's really no payment. Whatever you use, you owe to the card. and as long as you owe it, you're going to pay interest on it until you pay it back. So, for instance, if you get a $1,000 loan and you want to pay it back in 1 year, your payment is $120 a month for 1 year. After that year, it's done. If you have a $1,000 credit card and you max it out, like a lot of payments like to do at times, you max out the credit card. If you don't make any payment on that credit card, if you make only the minimum payment, then you're going to have that $1,000 balance for the entire year, and the payment only goes to interest because you're making the minimum payment. In order for you to reduce the balance, you make the minimum payment in addition to whatever amount you want to increase it by. So, for instance, a $1,000 credit card, your minimum payment, let's say it's $25, and you want to bring the balance up. If you pay $225, you make the minimum payment of $25, and the $200 balance is paid on the card. So now you owe $800 on the credit card. That is how it works. Now with the $800, instead of owing the $25, it'll probably be maybe $23, $22. But then you want to ensure that you bring that balance on that credit card to zero as soon as possible, and then you wouldn't have to make any payments to the card because you essentially wouldn't owe anything on the card. So, we're going to have to be very careful with these credit cards. Why? Number one, it plays a part in if you would want to borrow again for any purpose. Real estate, of course, I push real estate with my life. I believe fully in real estate. And I believe that most persons who are going to get into real estate, who are going to own a home, own a piece of property, most persons are going to go to the bank to do so. So it's good to keep a good name so that you can protect your financial behind. It just makes sense to do. Don't allow a credit card to stop you from qualifying for a home, from being able to purchase that piece of property. It could be a business property. It could be an investment property, whatever it is. If you have a credit card that is severely delinquent, you don't make payments on it, you pretend as though it doesn't exist, it is going to affect you when it's time for you to make your purchases. So, that's what it goes to, guys. Do not forget to make your credit card payments. It has to be a priority if you have a credit card, because it does affect your credit score. It does affect your borrowing ability. So it's difficult you don't want to show up in court for a credit card. You have to take days off from work. Everybody's going to know your business in court. Oh, one thing I hated was going to court. I'm grateful I don't have to go to court to hear people's business anymore. But don't show up to court over a credit card, man. That's the most simple thing you could have. Make your payments on the card. Even if you're having financially difficult times, I don't care how bad things are. There's always going to be some bills that you're going to look forward to paying. These summers are really hot. You want to have that air conditioning running, so you need to pay BEC. The BEC payment that you're going to make, you put it on your credit card and you pay BEC with the credit card. It keeps the card current and up to date, and it does not fall away and goes delinquent and causes you trouble in the end. So, that's my advice on credit cards, tips on it, how to maintain it. If you have a credit card with, say, a $1,000 limit, do not use more than $500-600 on the card. Always leave a healthy balance on the card. I hear a lot of people say when they get their credit cards, they want it for emergency purposes. Anything could be an emergency for a person. So, don't fool yourselves. It doesn't always work that way. If you have access to the monies, more than likely you're going to use it. And credit card companies, they know it and they love it. So always be wary about that and always be careful. Use only a certain, commit to only using a certain amount, and also commit yourself to getting a savings going. However you wish to do it, whether it's with a bank, government employees, you do salary deduction for loans. You could also do a salary deduction for savings. Do it for open an investment account. Do something so that you would always have money somewhere so that you wouldn't have to rely solely on a credit card or solely on borrowing monies and living a life based only on credit or just borrowing all the time. So that's my advice. Don't let credit cards get you into trouble. If you do have credit card issues, you need help with it, or you have any questions you want to ask me, go ahead and comment below. Also, email me, michaud.abraham@gmail.com. You could always reach out to me. I am on Facebook, and I am open to helping persons. I think I've built a good reputation on helping people, and I'm here for that. And I would love to see our Bahamian people get somewhere, and not to let trivial things like credit cards or bad loans, stop you from getting where you need to go. Anything can be rectified, but you have to make the decision to rectify it. So thanks a lot, guys, for watching, and see you soon.